So hi everyone. Just before the chanting, just a reminder to do with the time changes for you in England. I think it's tonight. You have to change your clocks. So you get an extra hour sleep for 1 week or 2 weeks, I think. And then for us in Australia, or most of Australia, the daylight savings finishes next week. So we have next Saturday the same time, and then we change overnight on the Saturday. Okie dokie. So I just thought I'd mention that as a reminder. Again, even though I mentioned it last week. And for those of you in Asia that watch it or participate live, if you do, I think most of you look at the video later, so it doesn't really matter, but just means I'll be posting it a different time. Okay, so and putting on the YouTube channel a different time. But if you do participate live, look at Google it. You can Google the time in Australia, Melbourne, Australia. Okay. Okay, let's do the chanting. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Sangham Saranam Gacchami, Tudayambi Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Tudayambi Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Tudayambi Sangham Saranam Gacchami, Tadayambi Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Tadayambi Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Tadayambi Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Excuse me. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the six paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the six paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the six paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May they be free from suffering and its causes. May they never be parted from the happiness beyond suffering. May they abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment to the near, and aversion from the far. I shall cause this. Great compassionate Buddha, please inspire me to be able to do so. Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every types of offerings, actual and mentally transformed. I confess all of my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in all the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until cyclic existence ends, and turn the wheel of Dharma for all sentient beings. I dedicate the virtues of myself and others to the great enlightenment. However innumerable all sentient beings are, I vow to save them all. However inexhaustible my delusions are, I vow to extinguish them all. However immeasurable the Dharma teachings are, I vow to master them all. However endless the Buddhist way is, I vow to follow it completely. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Tayata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisoha. Tayata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisoha. Tayata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisoha. So, sorry for stuttering there for just a second, or stammering, or what's the word? Just making a mess up of a couple of words there. Anyway, and I'm having a giggle afterwards. So I don't know if you heard the giggle, but anyway, it's good to laugh at ourselves sometimes, you know. I thought I'd mention a couple of things. First of all, I recorded just a 5 minute. I had to fit it into 5 minutes. Buddhist chanting in English video the other day. I was asked to, as I've been asked to go to many places in the last few years and haven't gone. Okay, not wanting to travel at the moment, but the Australian observance of the United Nations Day of Vesak in May sometime, I think 14th, if it rings a bell, sort of if my memory serves me correctly. Um, they asked me to go to there and do some chanting in English and probably some other things too. I'm not sure because I said I'm not going, but I'm happy to do a video for you. And if you use it, or fine. If you don't use it, then I'll use it. So what I did actually is I put it on Facebook just a couple of days ago after Leanne was so kind to record it for me. And so it's fitting into 5 minutes. So the Heart Sutra is chanted really quickly. Okay, I just thought I'd mention this. First of all, I didn't do the first prayers that we do in Pali, in Sanskrit. Changed the word slightly from 6 paramitas to practicing the Dharma, which really means the same thing, just for the benefit of the audience for that day, because there would be Buddhists from all different traditions. And then what else did I change? I don't think I changed anything else apart from adding the loving kindness scripture, so the Metta Sutra, and also the Heart Sutra. Okay, so if you want to learn those sutras to chant them yourself, I know that I've done them many times before, but this is probably an easy way to access them so that you can memorize them and then utilize them at any time. Once again, the Heart Sutra is very quick, so you may have to stop and pause to write things down and things like that. Maybe sort of print out, or not print out, but copy your own version. I don't know how to do that, but anyway. So it's also the Buddhist Federation of Australia were the ones requesting for this. And of course, I've been on the committee and had a lot to do with this federation and my friends there since about 2010 or 11. But the last few years, because they're based in Sydney and I haven't been traveling, I haven't seen them. So anyway, they also asked me to go to Vietnam, which I've declined for should be obvious reasons, and also this 5-minute video will probably be played over there if they want some English chanting. They should these days, the Dharma is in English-speaking countries a lot. So I thought I'd mention that to you. And the other thing is the subject change. Obviously, we've been doing what I grouped under commentary on studying, practicing, and sharing the pure Dharma with pure intentions. I'll keep that title. I won't call it commentary. I'll just have studying, practicing, and sharing the pure Dharma with pure intentions, and then add to that plus commentary and commentary on Master Atisha's heart advice. Okay, so we'll start doing that next week. I don't know how quickly we'll get through it. Some of them we'll get through quickly. There's probably about 30 odd verses, very short verses. Some of them I may sort of add only a tiny bit. Other ones I may elaborate on a lot. Okay, so I haven't had a look at it apart from knowing this teaching. So I didn't do any research apart from, like I said, rereading it after getting some teachings from it in the past. So I thought I'd just go fly blind with it, just off the top of the head. And then if while I'm doing that, if I get sort of some inspiration to look for some other teachers' versions or commentaries on this, then I will do so to add a little bit extra. So I'll just kind of go with it. I hope you don't mind that. And about time though, isn't it? I've been speaking about Master Atisha's heart advice now for about 2 years or so, since we were doing the 8 verses of thought transformation. So they relate in the sense that they're prevalent in Tibetan Buddhism. All right, so we're going to finish off this article that is titled or entitled "The Growth of Buddhism in Australia," but it covers many things. It's not just growth of Buddhism in Australia. It's related to Buddhists, traveling the world, how we should behave, what we should do, what we shouldn't do, things like that. So it's all about the Dharma again. Otherwise, it'd be like a history lesson, wouldn't it? And then this one's here, this one's growing here. I don't know about the growth in Australia, really. If you think about it, because I'm not everywhere. It's a big country. I have had some things related to some activities related to certain groups, know a lot but not really much in the last, say, 5 years. Not face to face anyway. So I don't really know if it's increasing as mentioned in this article, or whether it's stopped, whether it's decreasing. Don't know. I hope that it's not decreasing. I hope that the Buddhists that are practicing Buddhists remain so, and encourage them to continue to increase and the consistency in the practice, deepen your understanding and strengthen your practice. But also people that are interested in Buddhism, I hope you really look into it properly, not just look for some sort of escape. I think that happens sometimes when people look for new religions. They're looking for escape from their troubles and things like that. And so ultimately, of course, the Buddhism is ultimately, it is the antidote, the true antidote to uproot the cause of suffering, the practice of the Dharma, the practice of the Eightfold Path and so on. So it is right to go to the Dharma to relieve the suffering, but don't expect immediate results. Depends, it depends on how thick your karma is, your causes of this suffering are. Depends on your seeds of good karma from the past too. Everybody's different. We all have different circumstances. Anyway, I've waffled on too long for the intro today. Let's do a little bit of meditation. And like I said, then we'll finish up a little bit of commentary on this article. That's all. Forget everything I've said. All, I think, what was it? About 10 minutes worth. Let it go. It's gone anyway. So get yourself in a nice, comfortable position. Bring your mind inside your body. And let's release the tension from the body. Starting from the tips of the toes, working your way all around your feet to release whatever tension you have around your feet. Your lower leg, your upper leg, around your midsection, and up your upper torso. Pay attention to any areas that have stress or tension in them, especially, and release that tension. Maybe pay particular attention to your back as well, because we tend to carry a lot of stress in the back, especially in between the shoulder blades and running between the neck and the shoulders. Releasing the tension as you focus on these areas, and your shoulders, and then all the way down your arms, the tips of your fingers. And then up to your head, all around your head, including your face, of course. It's funny instruction. It's as if the face is separate from the head. That would be quite hilarious. And to the top of your head. And now scanning your body briefly again from the bottom to the top and releasing whatever tension still may be there. And now bring your focus to the tip of your nose initially, and let's follow the breath as we breathe in the nose all the way into the lungs and then back out the nose again. As you do this, you may want to count the breaths to keep your focus or help you keep the focus on the breath. 1 to 10. If you get distracted on the way to 10, go back to 1 at the time. So if thoughts arise or any mental activity arises, don't cling to it or grasp at it. Don't try to force it away either, or deny it even. But simply and naturally just let it go while you replace your mind back onto your breath. And if your mind becomes dull or sleepy, then wake it up a little bit by refocusing on your breath more brightly. So let's practice like this in silence for a bit. We'll keep it brief today. Fill yourself with universal loving kindness. Rejoice in the fact that you just practiced just a few minutes of breath meditation to help improve your concentration. In your own time, of course, I recommend that you do longer sessions. So like I said, let's fill ourselves with universal loving kindness, utilizing, visualizing the white light, filling our whole being. Fill yourself with so much loving kindness that it now overflows, radiates outwards from your heart center, and fills the beings in front of you, initially your loved ones, family, and friends, filling them with the universal love and kindness, and happiness and freedom from suffering and peace. Now also include those that you're indifferent towards, can regard as strangers, and even those you find difficult may regard as enemies. May all of these people be filled with the universal love and kindness. May they have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. And may they be peaceful. Now radiate this love and kindness out further and further, starting around your immediate area, and we will radiate it out distance-wise now to all of the living beings, whether you know about them or not, whether you can see them or not, or hear them or not, so on. Whether they live on the land or in the waters, fly through the air, born from wombs, eggs, moisture, or through transformation. Fill them with the universal love and kindness. May they be happy, free from suffering, and be peaceful. And now our loving kindness radiation is gathering so much speed and momentum. Now it radiates throughout the whole state or county to all sentient beings, innumerable, and other states and counties throughout your whole country. And other countries throughout the world. And also throughout all of the ocean, down to the core of the earth and to the outermost atmosphere. And beyond this planet, throughout the whole solar system and galaxy and the universe and beyond. Your loving kindness now pervades throughout infinite space. It is without limit. Inseparable with universal compassion and joy based on equanimity. And now let's recite the dedication prayer. Due to this merit, may I soon attain the enlightened state of the Buddha, so that I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious Bodhicitta, not yet born, rise and grow. May that born have no decline but increase forevermore. And may the precious view of Shunyata, not yet born, rise and grow. May that born have no decline but increase forevermore. Okay, so I'll just add to what I was saying before. Just for you Australians, in case you live maybe up in New South Wales or even Victoria and you want to travel, the Vesak event is actually on at Parliament House in Canberra this year. They're doing some sort of walk for peace, mindfulness walk, which, the innumerable beings can attend. I can't really say that, but there's no limit really. They are hoping to get thousands of people that could possibly attend in this. That may be too much to ask for, but it's unlimited, really. So you can attend that. I think in Parliament House itself, maybe 700, I think was mentioned, or it could have been 900. I can't remember now. And so I'd say if you want to go inside Parliament House, you can contact, I guess it's called the UN, the Australian commemoration of the UN Vesak or Day of Vesak. Okay, something like that. I know there's a Facebook page related to it. And then, but also the Buddhist Federation of Australia. You can find out if you're interested in participating live there in person. I'm sure there'll be some sort of videos shared out later and whatever. So I thought I'd mention that. The Vietnam one, I was asked yesterday where it was, and I don't know. I didn't ask all the details. I attended two in Vietnam. One was, I forget the name of the place now. The last one was in Ha Nam. The other one was very close to there, actually. So I think it was 2014 was the first time I attended those, the UN Vesak in Vietnam, and then the last one was 2019. So what else is there? Obviously, there's been a very large earthquake in Myanmar. It's also affected parts of Thailand too, I believe. I haven't seen many videos and things like that. I tend not to look too much on news and stuff, so I don't have the TV to look at. But some friends have sent me some videos, through Messenger. So we hope that, not too many people die, not too many injuries, and that we hope that the stability comes back to the region, both from the environment point of view, and the aftershocks are smaller and smaller and smaller, because they will come, obviously. But also that the relief people, the emergency services are proficient, and they also don't overwork themselves, so that they can be safe as well. Hopefully the people that are maybe trapped, that are released soon from this entrapment. And just like other places in the world, there's some places, different times, different places have some disasters like this. And our hearts should always go out to the people and wish for their safety, wish for their well-being. Doesn't matter where it is. Now, obviously, as Buddhists, we know about these countries as having long histories in Buddhism, and certain parts of them strong, strong Buddhist places. And so, yeah, it's quite, I think when it first happened, I was aware of it, but then I didn't realize how bad it was, with buildings falling down, temples falling down, and things like that. So share your merits, dedicate your merits to the people that are suffering in the world. They need our merits more than we do, really. Okay, I know that we all go through sufferings, but this type of thing is quite shocking for many people. To do with earthquakes, I'm not going to be too lighthearted about this, but I have experienced some. We've had some sort of minor ones around here in recent years. Excuse me. Not a lot of damage, but definitely some earth shaking, a little bit. Definitely affected their property around us. It's certain areas around the concrete areas that have cracked. But also, I've experienced it in Los Angeles. When I first went to live in Los Angeles, initially it was before this period, but then just after that, I went to England to do some work in pantomime, actually. And then, so a couple of months back in Australia, a month back in Australia, then a month or 6 weeks in Britain, and then back to Los Angeles. When I was supposed to go back was actually the day before happened the big earthquake in 1994 there. So I had to delay my returning to Los Angeles for a little while, maybe a week. So anyway, when I went back there, yes, I don't want to give you a bad image now, but I was having a bath with apple cider vinegar, actually. It's good for cleansing the toxins, And I was relaxing, taking it easy with a bit of jet lag and not thinking about aftershocks. Then there was an aftershock, and it was quite scary. In the bath, which is like a shower over the top of the bath, and the glass sort of things here, partitions. everything's shaking around. And of course, I'm here and no clothes. So, no sort of requisites, nothing for safety, nothing. They say to go outside and get away from buildings, or if you can't, then go in strong places like door frames and things like that. So I learned a big lesson from that, and I experienced maybe about another 10 of those types of things throughout the time I lived in Los Angeles. Quite large, quite scary. So I kind of know a little bit what it feels like. So anyway, dedicate the merits, okay? Really important. And also important for your practice too. So we'll go to this article. There's not that long to go, but it's not that long to go in the article either. So in Australia, Buddhism is held in high regard as a way of peace, a blameless religion with a history that has caused peace, harmony, and understanding wherever it has traveled, including in Australia, where the number of temples and Dharma centers, as well as the number of practitioners of all backgrounds, is consistently increasing. Like I said before, I alluded to before, which was related to this article, I don't really know that, okay? Now, at the time when this article was originally written, there was a lot of temples going up, and I was aware of them. So I'm not sure. Okay, so, but also throughout history, it's been well documented that Buddhism has enriched the cultures it's gone to and brought peace and understanding, has really enriched the cultures. Okay, so that's not just something that we like to think of, oh, I'm Buddhist, we hope it's like that. That's actually proven through written history from different sources, not just Buddhist sources now. And also from my experience, wherever I've traveled to, the Buddhism is held in high regard, as a way of peace, not causing trouble. There hasn't been wars throughout 2,600 years of Buddhism. In this time, there's been no wars fought in the name of Buddhism. We can't say that about other traditions. So that's something that's really poignant, it really is very important, even though maybe some other traditions may get offended by hearing that. That doesn't matter. It's a fact, So practice Dharma, bring peace. That'll do. Of course, as with everywhere, there are still many difficulties and obstacles with having access to and practicing Dharma in a place like Australia that is not considered a Buddhist country. For example, it is sometimes difficult and a long process obtaining such things as building and operational permits for Buddhist establishments such as temples, meditation centers, and schools, along with various other difficulties. Yeah, of course, there's difficulties in everything we have in life, but when something is new, and when, like for instance, in a place like Australia, there's lots of red tape to go through before you can build something, especially a religious establishment, especially if it's not Christian, for instance, because Christianity's had a 200 odd year history in this country, and a lot of the laws written around that. So maybe over time it's getting better. In fact, I know it's getting better, but there's still a lot of, you could say, hoops to jump through before you can get that. I have been helpful for some establishments to get such things as these permits, but unsuccessful at different times as well. And sometimes it's who you know in the government, especially like local government or whatever. So that has been helpful. My attachment, or not attachment, my connection with the interfaith world, and then their connection with local councils has actually helped some places. Okay. All right. So not saying that I pat myself on the back at all, because the work really is done by many, many people, especially those centers, those temples. So I think that'll do. Apart from mentioning the fact that every difficulty we experience can be overcome in that moment. You don't have to add to it. You don't have to add worry. You don't have to add anxiety. Don't add extra stuff. You can face the difficulty, face the obstacle, and work out a way to get around it or get over it. Or let it go. Some things can be let go. Like a river, for instance. And you've heard me use this example for a few different teachings over time, different meanings. But a river, in this case, we're talking about going over obstacles, or through obstacles, or around them. Rivers coming down the mountain, let's say for something like a tree falls in there, blocks the river. Maybe boulders, maybe there's been a landslide, blocks the river. The water only gets blocked to a certain stage, certain level, to do with the blockage. So then it may go over the top, may go around. After some time, even if it can't do that for a period, maybe it starts to work its way through, push its way through, wear away at the blockages, wear away at the difficulties, and then it flows. So our Dharma practice can be like this. Whatever difficulties we have in the Dharma practice, whatever obstacles arise, keep going. Sometimes you may have to sit back and work out a way to get around them and think, oh, there's that old habit. Because the obstacles I'm really talking about here are mental afflictions. But of course, then they lead to the sort of unsavory karmic or karma effects of karma, the conditions we may have at certain times, so, or even throughout this life. You may have to deal with certain things and deal with it well. Once again, don't add extra stuff to it. Don't add worry and anxiety to it. Live in this moment, work out ways to make it better, improve it, okay? Just like the river works its way around or over or through the blockages. So that'll do for that. But these difficulties and obstacles can be overcome with consistent practice, pure intentions, good skills, and enthusiastic effort, which is exactly what I was saying in different words. So if you take something out of that, if you forget everything I just said for the last, couple of minutes, then consistent practice, pure intentions, good skills, enthusiastic effort. Those 4 points, okay? Consistent practice, obviously, we need to do that all the time. Our practice needs to be consistent. Sometimes maybe not consistent. We recognize that, then we make it consistent again. And what was the other ones? Pure intentions, try to keep your intentions pure, Then if you make mistakes, we're not really creating really bad karma, are we? If the intentions are bad and the karma is bad, try to keep the pure intentions. If the intentions wander off to be more negative or in the middle somewhere indifferent, then make them more pure, make them good again. Recognize it, okay? Be aware when the mind becomes like unwholesome, then replace that with unwholesomeness or with wholesomeness. Okay, so get rid of the UN, not unwholesome becomes wholesome. Then the next one is good skills. Yeah, the Dharma is good skills. Like anything in life, you have to do something, you work out a way to do it, and the most efficient way to do it, the safest way to do it, and then you implement it. Good skills. And enthusiastic effort, which is the sixth of the Eightfold Path, isn't it? The great effort. And also number 4 in the 6 paramitas, enthusiastic perseverance. Next, may I also add that in Australia, we have reasonably easy access to all of the Buddhist traditions and cultures, which I feel is a great opportunity for us all to develop genuine understanding into the meaning and practice of the Buddha Dharma, and to develop and maintain unity and support within the Buddhist community as a whole. So I guess the main point there, how long have we got? So main point is that we ourselves as practitioners, if we have an inclination to go and find out about Zen Buddhism or Chan Buddhism, then you have reasonably easy access to that. And some of the temples or the traditions, they have, a lot of them have good English speakers, good English speaking teachers. So you can access that. Same in Tibetan Buddhism, same in the Theravada tradition and Theravada Buddhism, and some other schools of Buddhism too. Of course, some places, maybe the English isn't so good. Maybe the teachers there don't speak English well. Maybe they have good translators. Maybe not so. Okay, so you have to be patient with that. But like I said, reasonably easy access. And I think it's really good, that we have all of this so that we can communicate with each other. Remember, we are one, so let's help and support each other as much as possible so that we are able to study, practice, and share the pure Dharma to the best of our ability in our own countries and throughout the world. And may the immeasurably precious